Hey everybody, it's Savvy That Simmer, and today's video I'm going to be going over some amazing lighting mods. So with The Sims 4, we do have a lot of lighting mods, and of course we have a wonderful Gshade, which most of you guys already know I love to create Gshade presets. I do photography in my real life, so creating presets is so much fun for me. But we still need to think about people that can't necessarily download Gshade or they have a Mac, because I don't know if you are aware or not, but Mac computer users can't use Gshade or Reshade. So it's really unfortunate for them, and I still get a lot of comments and questions, people asking me if they can use that in their game, and unfortunately no, as of right now, as I'm aware that it cannot. So I decided to make a video for those of you that cannot use Gshade for whatever reason that may be, and just use these lighting mods that will completely enhance your game and just make it feel so much more brighter, beautiful, and just it adds a little bit of pop of color and makes it fun in your game. I can't wait to show you what I have, but I really hope these help you out, and I know that not everyone has access to everything, so I just really hope this helps out someone in the YouTube world. So this video might be a little bit of a shorter video, not super in-depth like I normally do. I just wanted to go through this video and make it as simple as possible for you guys to see. And some mods I already have in my game, so you may not be able to tell the difference, but I will go through their websites so you guys can find where they're downloaded at. So this is the mod that I'm currently using. This is brand new. This is in my current game and I'm obsessed with it. It is so beautiful. And this is the Kaz Volume 6 lighting mod, and as you can see, this is the EA version, so very, very plain, very boring. Like, look at her face. Like, you can see there's not really like a lot of dimension, and then if you go over, we have some more dimension. This is volume A here, and this is more of just a white light. This one is a red one. We have a more like pinkish tones, but as you can see, this one here, we have blue, and then we have red, and it has more of like a blue tint. I think I have D. Let me see which one I have. I'm pretty sure I'm using E here, or it could be F, or it could be G. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure it's G or F, because mine kind of has like a green tone, but I just love the way it looks in my game. Like, it definitely like makes things a lot more fun, and I'll just show you what they look like on the website. So here are the color variants, and you can really tell the difference. This is EA, so there's absolutely nothing on your sim at all. And then this is the first version A, and yeah, it looks so much better having this. And I just think it looks really cool for screenshots too, and it just makes your sim pop. Then we're back in the game. I wanted to show you guys the fact that you can see the Kaz lighting mods still on your sim on their icon, which I think is really cool. If you guys have been watching my Stuck in Strangerville LP, you may have noticed that I have my sim like Junie and Nick, and it's been surrounding them. Even here in the relationship panels, even animals, even sims. This next one is Better In-Game Lighting Mod by Northern Siberia Winds, and this one I used to use all the time before I had Gshade in my game. When I first started playing The Sims 4, I was using a Mac. So now that I have my own PC, it's much better, so I'm really grateful for that. But here is the Max's lighting. So this is the default. So this is game lighting. So this one is not Kaz. So just keep that in mind as well. This one will enhance your game and it'll make it look so much prettier. So here's what it's going to look like. And then this is just the default lighting. And then as you can see here on this, you can actually pick 3 different variants, which is nice. This one is called the bright base, and then this one is the bright saturated. If it was me, I would probably go for more of this one, just that way your sims don't get whitewashed with this bright pale, but that's just me, and I like try to keep in mind skin tones. But all of these are really beautiful, so that is nice that you can use these mods without having to have Gshade. Bright base, you also have an average base here, and then the dark base. So these are still really pretty too. So I highly suggest using this. I used to use it all the time before I got Gshade in my PC. I'm also going to create a Patreon post and link all of these for you guys, so that way it's nice and organized and in one place for you guys. Next up is another lighting mod that you guys can use for Kaz. And I love the one that I just showed you guys, but this is also another one too that I used to use as well. And this one's called City Light. There's also a torchlight one, and you can just see how it highlights the back of the sim here. and it just really brings your sim to life. I used to use this one all the time. I'm pretty sure I used either this neutral lighting or this torchlight one. But here is an example of it. So I'm pretty sure it was City Light that I used to use. I really liked that one a lot. And then the neutral light I liked, but I feel like this one here was a little bit, or maybe it was City Light Torchlight. I think it actually might have been this one here because I liked how there was like shadows on your Sims, but then like her face was still bright. And this one is like kind of reminded me of EA still. But this is the default here, and then City Light. And then as you can see, all of these different ones add like different variants to your sim and CAS. Like it just gives your sim different lighting features, obviously. But I just like that each one has its own difference with it. And it's kind of fun too, because you can always switch it out and play around with it if you like. And I did used to use this one, like I said, so highly suggest this one as well. And again, I will make sure to link this one for you guys, but you could do a simple Google search if you'd like to, but I know links are nice, so I'll make sure to do that for this one. But this one was one of my favorites. It was one of my OGs. So the CAS lighting mod that I showed you for volume 6 is the current one that I'm using. And this one is volume 4. You could get this one as well if you didn't want all of the bright lighting behind your sim. And I'll show you guys the example. So this is the EA, so it's kind of flat. And then this one enhances shadows. I personally like B and C the most, probably B, because it kind of creates the shadow behind the sim on the sim's face. And I just like that depth. It feels like there's more depth to your Sims faces and their features. So I definitely feel like this is a good option if, like I said, you didn't want the one I showed you first. If you didn't want to have all the lighting behind your Sim, this one is great because it's just about lighting and shadows. So highly suggest this one. And on the website, it actually gives you a little example here. So here's A, B, C, and D. Absolutely love this. This one is beautiful, top tier. And like, look at the difference between the EA one. Like the EA one is so plain, so plain. Next up on the list is going to be another CAS lighting mod by Northern Siberia Winds. This one is a light version, so it's not going to be anything extreme. It's just gentle. I believe this one is called Gentle Lighting. But here's the EA, so as we can see, it's more flat again, and here's the lighting. So it just kind of gives it a more like softer look, as you can see, more like kind of fine-tuned. It almost reminds me of like Airbrush, you know, like the Airbrush apps. Here's before and here's after. So again, before, after, and it's nice because it gives it a Gshade effect without having Gshade or Reshade in your game. So again, here it is back to back. So this one is with nothing, with no CAS lighting, and then this is CAS lighting. So yeah, I mean, it makes such a big difference, and it's honestly so beautiful. And I love the fact that simmers that don't have access to, you know, stuff like that, they have these options, which is really nice. Next up on the list is another CAS lighting mod. This is the golden light one, and this one's so cute too because I like the golden effect. I love this one as well, and this is one that I used to use personally, again, before I got Gshade, and I like it because it just adds a nice warm hue to it. So here is the CAS default, and then here is the golden light. Like, look at that difference, guys. It is so beautiful. It's so pretty. And yeah, again, like you can totally get close to having a Gshade preset in your game in CAS with this lighting mod. Like, obviously you don't have it, but at least you can kind of get similar effects to it. So I love this one. This one's so pretty, and just like, look the difference. It's so bright and colorful and just really makes your sim pop and your game pop. Next up on the list is going to be Milk Thistle, and this is by Softer Haze. And Softer Haze has a current mod that I currently have in my game that is newer, and I'm using that currently. I'll get to that one next. But this one here is what I used prior to using that one. And this one is called, like I said, Milk Thistle. And just look at the difference here. And this is a lighting mod. So you, again, don't have to have Gshade. You don't have to have Reshade. So it's so nice for those of you that don't have access to that. I know I already said that, but I just want to reiterate like the difference between like how beautiful this is. It's so pretty. So this is supposed to be Brittleton Bay with Milk Thistle over here, and then as you can see, just look at the difference. It is so gorgeous, so incredible, and I just love all the beautiful warm hues that it adds. And like, look at the difference right here of this house. Like, you can see in the trees are way more vibrant. It's just gorgeous. I love it. Here's another one of Dulcel Valleys. So in here, again, look at the difference. It's so warm and so beautiful. And here is Tartosa with it. It's so pretty. I just love it. And then here's Hemford on Bagley at 12 p.m. apparently. But yeah, you guys can just see the difference of how gorgeous it is. It's a very soft hue, and it just makes your game adds some color that was like severely lacking. So I love it. Highly suggest this one. Again, I used to use this one all the time. I stopped using it once I learned about Gshade. Gshade does it for me. I don't necessarily need it. These other mods, but obviously they do make your game beautiful, but Gshade just helps me create this option without having all these other extra lighting mods in. But I will go ahead and show you one that I absolutely use no matter what, if I do have Gshade in or if I don't, and I'll go ahead and show that one to you now. So next up on the list may be a mod that you guys have already heard of, but Lumia makes these really beautiful mods that help your game not look so dark. So it's called No Glow, and then they also have a No Blue effect too. So if you look at this Maxis here with the lights off, you can kind of see over here, I'm gonna move my mouse because it dims it once I put it over it, but as you guys can see on the left here with the Maxis version without the mod in there, it creates like a blue version, like it has a blue hue to it automatically. And then over here on the right here, you can see with the No Blue, it adds a more like normal version to it, if that makes sense. So like the hues are more saturated and it's not as blue. That's the best way I can describe it. So, and then if we look at this one here, Maxis, and then No Blue and No Blue Glow. I personally, here's another one with the lights. So this one here is with the lights on, and as you can see, again, it's hovering, so I don't want to mess it up, but okay, here we go. That's easier. So over here, Maxis has the lights, or they have the lights on here, and then Maxis. So you can see the difference. It's a big difference. Like look how dark Eliza looks, and then over here, Eliza looks much more saturated and more to her normal appearance. And then here's outside as well. So Maxis version is very saturated when they're outside. It doesn't look good. It's like very highlighted. And then over here with the No Blue Glow and the No Blue, you can tell the difference. Like look how more subtle it is. It's a lot more true to her appearance like before. So the new Glow is a 2.1 version. They did update that because they didn't want them to look overexposed. So I highly suggest downloading the No Blue version 2 and then the No Blue. So it's called No Blue, so it gets rid of the blue version, and then No Glow. So your Sims aren't going to be glowing, and then you don't have a blue hue. I've been using this before I had Gshade and now after Gshade. It makes the biggest difference in my game. Highly suggest. I never ever do not have this in my game, so I'm telling you, it makes the biggest difference. Normally in the past, I've just had Gshade in my game, and then these two mods here, No Glow and No Blue. So it just makes the biggest difference, you guys. It's beautiful. I love it. There's nothing else to say. You have to have it in your game. Next up on the list is also by Softer Haze. This one is called Sunblind. This made the biggest difference in my game. It's a very subtle difference, but it also is so beautiful, and I feel like it's definitely needed. Again, you don't have to have Gshade or Reshade to have these features. In this mod, it says that it's more realistic daytime lighting and less blue than EA's default, and still somewhat it's saturated but better to emulate light bouncing, unlike No Blue mods, which entirely desaturate daytime lighting and shadows. So the fact that I still do have No Blue mod in my game and Sunblind now, it just gives it a more realistic effect, which is nice. So here is Sunblind. It's again very subtle, but it creates shadows, and the best way I can describe that is what I've noticed in my game. And now we're in game, and just the best way to show you guys an example is this for Sunblind. From what I've noticed, because I just recently had it in, everyone's ranted and raved about it. They talk about it all the time, how beautiful it is, and like it's just so needed. And I agree with you, it is, because here's a shadow over here, and I do have my shadows on like in my settings, like in this panel, like up in here in my game. But with the mod, like it just adds shadows like this. Like from what I've noticed, I could be crazy, but that's what I've noticed in my game. And also sunrises and sunsets too make the biggest difference in my game. And let me just turn off my Gshade so you guys can see the difference. I don't even know if you can really. It's a slight difference, but it makes a big difference. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it does. It does in my game. It feels so weird not having it. But this shadow here from a tree, which is this tree right here, it adds more depth to shadows. And then also too with sunsets and sunrises, I'm going to speed up my game so we can get to a sunset for you guys. The sunsets are so beautiful in the game now. So it's about 1 a.m. right now in my game, and I just want to show you guys how the Sunblind mod works with the sunrise. It's so beautiful, and I just want to show you guys like the full effect. I have my game on 3 There we go. Oh my gosh. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness, you guys. I've been seeing so many other um, fellow simmer friends have this mod in their game, and I never thought I needed it, but here I am to tell you guys, some blind is needed, okay? It is so beautiful. Let's take off my Gshade. Here it is, and you can still see how pretty this is. It's so beautiful, and even like the clouds in here. Okay, so let's move over here. Just look at the shadows from the trees. We have the warm pink colors. I will say that too. I feel like this mod adds more of like a pink hue to like the sunrises. So it's just so pretty. Like look at this section over here. Again, this may not mean a lot to some of you guys, but I know people that care about like the way their Sims environments look, you'll appreciate this. Like look how pretty that is. All right, I'm gonna turn my G-Shade back on so you guys can kind of get more of like an effect here, but oh my god. Okay, here, this section over here is nice. So you can kind of see it change. Oh, it's just so pretty. It's such a difference. Oh, it's snowing now. But anyways, I just want to show you that and just kind of see in game how beautiful it is and the difference. I also want to show you guys another simmer that I recently discovered, and they make beautiful hairs. But here's another lighting overhaul mod that they made. This is their 2.0 version. This is also super new. It came out in December. This creator's name is Josh. So Josh here has such a beautiful mod, and I just love how it creates. So this is with the overlay here. So with this custom lighting mod, this is an overlay essentially. So it's not something that you're going to put in your game and you're going to see automatically. This is a mod that you're going to have to find, and it's going to be under your skin details, makeup, and tattoos. And then also your brow ring left, that's another section is going to be under. So what you'll do is you'll just find, for example, like under the makeup section, and you'll find that. And I'll show you guys where it is really quick. Okay, so now that we're in Kaz, I'm going to show you guys how to find that specific mod really quick. So here it is. Here is the in-game. So it is pulling with my CC here, but I can just easily change the CC here if I wanted to. But yeah, here it is, just to give you guys a little example of the different shadows that you can cast in here. And then you can do like the brightness of it, bring it down or bring it up. It just, you know, again, just creates like a nice shadow. So if that's something you're looking for like a screenshot or whatever, you know, you guys can do that. Like I even like this one right here, how it kind of casts a shadow like on this side of her face, which is my sim self, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. And again, just play around with it. You have so many different swatches in here, which is really nice. Clearly not every swatch is going to be perfect right now because I am like playing around with it and just like going through it fast for you guys. But yeah, you can change it. You can make the opacity. You can change the hue of it if you wanted to. Actually, the hue doesn't change from what I'm seeing, but the opacity does. So you can bring it completely down, add a little bit. So yeah, it is really, really cool. I love it. I think it's super fun for adding some depth to your sim. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off though, because I'm not gonna be using that. And yeah, so mine shows up around the like eyeshadow area for this mod, but you can find it in other places too. I also want to mention too, with this mod, if you do put any of these different overlay features on your sim, it will show up in the game. So this isn't confined to just create a sim. So just an FYI. Next up on the list is Twinkle Toes, also by Softer Haze. This is another one that's been around for a little while, but again, I like to show everything that I've used and everything that I currently use. I know there's a lot of new simmers as well, and I always like to take that in consideration. Sometimes I don't feel like I want to share mods because I'm like, oh, so many other people share them or so many other people know about whichever mod I'm thinking of, but ultimately there's going to be a new simmer that watches my videos, so a lot of the times these are designated for you guys. But here is the Twinkle Toes mod. This is also another lighting mod. This does enhance like clouds and stuff. It is really, really pretty. I used to use this before. I don't use this one anymore, but like I said, before I had Gshade, this is what I did use. This is with the Brindleton Bay sunrise. It just adds really pretty effects to your sunsets and to the clouds in the game. It's honestly really, really beautiful. And They also use no blue lighting mod for Twinkle Toes, so that is included in this mod. So this mod has been updated several times. So here's a few things that have been fixed or added. So it makes the daytime sky a little more subtle blue. It changed the star texture to the Jungle Adventure Milky Way. Changed the colors during the sunset and sunrise to shown above that I just showed you. And then also fix the excess bloom during the afternoon in full sunlight. So basically, so it's not as harsh. And they also wanted to make sure that the compatibility with seasons does work well with the different seasons based on the sunrises and sunsets. So I think that's super cool, and feel free to read through the rest of that if you want to, but Twinkle Toes is one that I've always loved and I know so many people have as well. Anyways, guys, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed these in-game and CAS lighting mods for your game. I can't believe there was 10 of them. I feel like there is like way more than that, but there's only 10. Honestly though, YouTube video that doesn't have a ton of mods because then I get overwhelmed. I kind of like just a handful of them. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and I highly suggest using, if you don't have Gshade or Reshade and you can't add that in your game, I highly suggest adding the Northern Siberian Winds one for the in-game lighting mod. Highly suggest that one. It just really makes your game pop a lot more. And the no blue, no glow mod as well from Lumia. There's a couple of other ones from other people too that has a similar mod for that effect, but I like Lumia's. You can always feel free to do the other ones too, but those are my two highly suggested ones that I would definitely recommend to anyone. I've been using it for a couple years now, and I don't ever not have it in my game. So the no blue and the no glow. I don't have the other one in my game anymore, the Siberian Winds one, just because I, have Gshade. Anyways, guys, those are my suggestions. I hope they helped you. If you enjoyed this video and it did help you, feel free to leave a comment down below and like the video and share to any other simmers that might need some help with some lighting in their game. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.